Thank you, Tijarishi, for that wonderful welcome note and making all our guests feel warmly received. Ladies and gentlemen, one more huge round of applause to welcome all our esteemed guests.
I would like to invite a Consul General from Singapore, Mr. Cheong Ming Foong, to please open up for his opening remarks.
My fellow speakers on the dais, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to everyone. It is indeed my privilege to address you all today on this occasion of as we mark the occasion of Universal Brotherhood Day here in Mumbai. This day reminds us of our shared humanity and the bonds that connect us and the responsibility we bear to foster understanding and cooperation as neighbors. So the theme for this year's Universal Brotherhood Day is most apt, neighbors first. Indeed, in this period of heightened global tensions, what with wars and conflicts and all that, all of which threaten the very fabric of our societies, it is all the more important for us to double down on relationships with our neighbors. In Singapore, we've always understood that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the stability and prosperity of our region, not least because we are so tiny at only 770 square kilometers. Our foreign policy, rooted in mutual respect and constructive engagement, has helped us to navigate the complexities of the world post-independence. We gained independence in 1965, while ensuring the security and success of our country. Our foreign policy emphasizes the importance of respect for sovereignty and non-interference, principles that resonate, I'm sure, very much with all of us here. So, although there's a misconception that Singapore's foreign policy is neutral, let me say that this is not the case. As I mentioned, it is to act in a principled and consistent way based on our long-term national interests and to find mutually beneficial ways of cooperating with all our friends. A cornerstone of this policy is our consistent commitment to our immediate neighborhood, and more specifically ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Through ASEAN, our member states have prioritized collective issues from economic cooperation to disaster relief. Also through ASEAN, we have brought major powers, including India, to the same table for open, constructive discussions to encourage peace, stability, and economic cooperation. And as mentioned just now, India, we just had the ASEAN-India summit as well in Laos. This bringing together of all the powers would not have been possible if each of us, ASEAN member states, had tried to do so independently on our own. Now, India may not be an immediate neighbor to Singapore, but it is an immediate neighbor to Southeast Asia, to ASEAN, and is an important one. In this regard, we see India as our natural and important partner for ASEAN and ASEAN's prosperity. I'm particularly pleased that relations between ASEAN and India were upgraded to a comprehensive strategic partnership during Singapore's coordinatorship of the ASEAN-India dialogue relations over the past 3 years. Bilaterally, our close ties to India serve as a powerful testament to the benefits of this collaborative spirit. Together, we have embarked on initiatives that enhance connectivity, trade, and cultural exchange. The India-Singapore Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, which was signed almost 20 years ago, has paved the way for much deeper economic engagement that not only strengthens our economies, but creates opportunities for both our peoples. And at the highest levels, there has been a lot of political exchange, including the recent visit of Prime Minister Modi ji to Singapore. Today, as we reflect on the spirit of universal brotherhood, let us remember that our collective strength lies in our diversity. Each culture, each tradition enriches the tapestry of our shared existence. In Singapore, we celebrate our multicultural society where different ethnicities and religions coexist harmoniously. This diversity is not merely a source of pride, it is an essential element of our resilience. It teaches us that by embracing one another's differences, we can build a more inclusive, peaceful world. As we navigate the complexities of today's geopolitical landscape, let us also not forget the power of people-to-people connections. Education, cultural exchange, and mutual respect are critical in fostering understanding and building bridges with our neighbors. Just last week, I had a very engaging session in Pune with a group of Singaporean students from our Singapore University of Social Sciences. They had spent 10 days in Pune on an immersion program, visiting many major companies there, and it was such an eye-opener for them, and they were so full of questions, and I think it marks such great potential because they are still young, barely in their 20s, and they are already so excited by India. So, by encouraging our citizens, especially our youth, to engage with one another, I say we are laying the groundwork for a more peaceful and prosperous future. Let me conclude by quoting my then Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong's words at the annual India-ASEAN Summit in October 2021. India is a long-standing friend of Singapore and was one of the first countries to recognize our independence. The historical, literary, cultural, and economic ties go back many centuries. Unquote. This rings true today, and Singapore is committed to building upon these strong foundations with our neighbor, India, for an even more prosperous era of relations ahead of the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful discourse. I would like to take this opportunity to request Shri Amit Chatterjee to do the honors of felicitating the Counsel General of the Republic of Singapore, Mr. Cheong Ming Foong. Amit ji is the program coordinator for this wonderful event, and he has been associated with VAK since 2006. He is also the founding member of the Africa Studies Center. On the professional front, he works in the domain of IT and cybersecurity and has the experience of delivering over 25 smart cities. Thank you, Amit ji.